I don't know what name this episode is going to have, but it's going to have a name that we call it later.
Yeah.
That episode.
Yeah.
Six pastors fired because of a podcast. That's what's in the call. On this little app that the Chinese government is stealing our information on called TikTok. And so I was on there, and he was on my For You page, and I'd never seen him before, but I think I saw in the caption something about pastor. And whenever I see another pastor on TikTok, I'm always intrigued to like, what content are we getting here? Is this going to be like the 1 minute devotional where we just like have like some like kind of very surface level preachy thing or whatever? Or is this going to be just straight up like church memes, which I'm all for the church memes. I'm all for this like, satire of the church or whatever. And I watched this. And I probably rewatched like a dozen times because I just kept processing what would I do in this situation. I immediately copied the link for that TikTok, shared it in the group chat, and we all had a good laugh. And it just so happened that you lived in the same town as Jeff. That led to you guys having the conversation for you to be on the show. So I don't want to say anything else because this is an amazing story. James, can you share with us?
Give us the full length in detail version.
I can do that. See, when you watch the TikTok, when you watch that, it seems like it was just a couple minutes.
Oh.
But this video is actually about 25 minutes long, 30 minutes long, probably.
Seriously?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Just wait for it.
I was sitting in my office.
Okay, hold on. He was starting to tell us the story before we hit record, and it was getting amazing. And I was like, stop. I want to hear this for the first time when we're live and recording.
Yeah, it was. I was sitting in my office at the church. I was getting ready to leave, just for the day, go home, and I shoved my phone in my back pocket, which is weird. I don't normally do that. Usually my phone is in my bag that I have right here or in my side pocket or whatever. So I put it in my back pocket and I hop in my car and go home. And on my way home, I find a guy that goes to my church, hasn't been there in quite a while. I stop, hey, bro, where you been? Why haven't you been at church, bro? You got to come back. Oh, man, we probably have a 5-10 minute conversation, not knowing that I had gone live in my back pocket this whole time. So this whole time
on Facebook.
On Facebook, yes, on Facebook. This whole time, an audience has been brewing. Oh man! Oh,
my gosh.
What's Pastor James doing? Or what's James doing? He's live on Facebook, and he doesn't know, and everyone's laughing because I'm live.
So they're having a jolly old time in the comments.
Yeah, jolly old time in the comments. This is before.
Is this the church account or your account?
This is my personal account. Okay. Praise the Lord. Right? Praise the Lord.
Oh my gosh!
So I get home and I drop my bag. Hey, honey, give her a kiss, and man, you know what? After a long day at the office, man, you got to take a poop. That's just what it is. And I go upstairs, and like I said, by this time it's been about 25 minutes of an audience gathering up, about 100 people watching this live video of just laughing that I'm live, and I have no idea that I'm live.
I have
and no one's messaging you about
right now.
No, well, people were, but for some reason I wasn't getting notification. So as we'll see in a little bit, my wife gets a message eventually. I get upstairs, go to the bathroom, drop my pants, do my business as the camera's facing towards the ground. And, every grunt, they hear the plop, plop, plop. And they hear.
So to be fair, if you were on your phone while you pooped, this wouldn't have been a problem.
Exactly.
Oh my
exactly. So I thought, hey, you know what?
So good.
I love my wife. I've been at work all day. I want to go to the bathroom real quick, then come spend time with my wife.
And not look at my phone.
Exactly, not look at my phone. So, which I should have done. So I get done. I do my wiping business, and then I flush the toilet over the live. And next thing I hear, James. I'm like, yeah, honey, you're live on Facebook. Your brother called my brother called my wife, and he's a famous TikTok teacher. He's got like 125,000 followers on TikTok, Mr. Clidence, and he calls my wife.
Oh my gosh, this is
the
best story I've heard.
And he's like, James is live on Facebook and he's pooping, and my wife, hand embarrassment, beat red. Screaming for me, you're live on Facebook. I grab my phone. I look into my horror, over 100 people.
So now all these people get your face like
this. I end that so quick, and I deleted it. In hindsight, I wish I would have saved it. Hindsight, and just saved the chat.
Oh my!
But because so many people on TikTok are now like, hey, can you show the video? And no. No, I'm not going to. But I could have posted something that a chat log or something of what people saw. But
Oh
yes,
my gosh.
and
I
and
can't
then
get away
my
from it.
Then my mindset goes to Sunday. Oh no, because there are people.
That's so awesome.
There are
Oh,
people
my.
in my church who were watching this. All right, there are like huge group of people, especially the boomers. Whenever the pastor goes live, they got to be on there cheering on the pastor. So now I'm thinking, oh man, they're cheering on me as I'm going poop, and
Oh my!
I get to
gosh.
church on Sunday though, and to the from the grace of God, nobody mentions it. Not one person mentioned. I think
Was
it was
there
just that
snickering
awkward.
in the chairs or pews?
They had to know. I mean,
I couldn't tell because of the mask. So.
Oh, good. Hey,
So no one
Saved by the
mentions
mask.
it. It must have been that that awkward thing to where when someone walks on you in the bathroom, and
you just never talk about it again.
you walk
Until
out, kind of nod, and it's just in the back of everyone's mind that this did happen. I think that's what happened. Praise the Lord for that.
man.
I'm impressed. Like the fact that you pooped without being on your phone is a level of meditation I've never been a part of.
honestly.
I'm really impressed with that.
It's
I
also
have
why I
a-
don't
I ha-
touch other people's phones. Just
I
saying.
have a
Yeah,
former
I don't think
student.
I'm ever going to take my phone anywhere with me ever again.
Yeah, that's a wise thought, Jeff.
Yeah.
I have a former student who was a psych major, and her final paper was on, she went to a public library and charted people walking into the bathroom with a smartphone and people walking in without a smartphone in their hand. And it was like timing people, that were going into the public restroom. And, it was the comparison of how much longer people go into the bathroom when they're holding their phone when they walk in.
Wow.
Wow.
She got an A. She's
that's
got
awesome.
Dude, the
she's
only
got a-
thing worse.
She's got a doctorate now. Not in
No.
that, but she has a doctorate now.
The only thing worse I've seen, well, I'm sure there's more than things worse than your story, but have you guys seen that video? It was like a lady that was on a Zoom call for work, and she was like on her laptop, and she went into the bathroom and set the laptop down like on the counter and went to the bathroom, and everybody, there was like 30 people on the Zoom
That's
call.
worse.
Well,
That's way
It was
worse.
so bad. It was so bad.
Because these are your colleagues.
Oh my
These are
God, like, you got to resign after that.
Yeah, you're done.
Yeah,
You're done.
Jeff and I, we were texting last night about like just when we think about what you went through, how we would just the anxiety we feel of like I would just like if something was seen, like if you just saw my upper thigh, I'd be
FBI
like,
on my door.
Yeah,
I'd be
like
I'd
you
be
could
like,
catch charges from this.
Honestly.
I would just go in the next day and be like, I guess I'm resigning. No need to talk about
I
it.
wouldn't even go in. I
And-
would just slip a paper under the door. Slip a
It
letter
was
under
nice.
the
People show
door.
up to church on Sunday and
Bye.
they got a letter. The pastor's gone. Yeah.
Yeah, he's gone.
What is there to talk about? Like we're done here.
Wow.
Oh.
It's crazy. So I guess there's not much of a deep, meaningful conversation I want to have from this. This is a great story. But
This
I guess
is a story of incredible 2020 internet connecting people.
Yes.
yeah,
Because like I literally saw his handle and was like, Dundalk? My Dundalk? I'm gonna see, and it was. And here we
That's so
are,
cool.
live
Yeah.
in person.
I guess so. No one has like said anything about it.
Oh yes, people have said things about it. They've messaged me and texted me just the laughy emoji. Ha ha ha. We saw you poop. We heard you poop. Type
We
thing.
heard
But,
you poop.
but nothing like in person.
Oh, man.
Maybe that respect to the pastor is there to where they don't want to broach the subject.
If anything, you have a wonderful sermon illustration now, man.
Oh, no,
That's all.
in a couple years, yes.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Let
There's a
it
statute of
marinate.
limitations, and then
I think what's 10 years or something like that for that kind of thing.
So I guess my question for everyone else is: have you ever had like an embarrassing social media mistake that like you meant to text your wife and you put it on your post, or like have you ever had something like
I
that?
have a brilliant one. So, one of my favorite things to do is when my wife's phone is unattended, I like to, first of all, I like to change her background to a photo of shirtless Alec Baldwin from the 80s. That's one of my favorite things I like to do when my wife's phone is unattended. But then I also like to send myself some PG-13-ish rated text messages from my wife's phone saying, hey, husband,
no.
I know where
I
this
am-
is going.
I am in the mood for amorous activities. That kind of thing. And so then I will reply to her when she's near her phone again. What's he talking about? Oh, and ha ha ha. So it's just something that I've done for forever. Well, about a year ago,
Mm.
my wife was outside and I picked up her phone, and I was using Siri to text myself, and Siri confused my name with the name of somebody else from my wife's phone, and the person that my wife's phone texted was an elder in my church.
Oh man.
Yes.
So I was
man,
texting.
that's so good.
I was texting myself suggestive material from my wife's phone, and that text went to a female elder in our church
Oh.
who is close personal friends with my wife. Like, they're in a small group together, they're buddies.
Dude, hey, listen, somebody listening to this right now is feeling so vindicated that they're not the only weirdo in the
And
world.
so then I had to be like, oh my goodness, I am so sorry. This is not Melissa, this is Andrew.
Then it's even weirder.
Well,
It's so weird.
But so then,
On so many levels.
and it's the fact
That doesn't fix it. It just makes a different
And
problem.
it's the fact that it's one of our female elders as well, which makes it weirder because now here's this text from her pastor, and then Melissa was like, I am so sorry. Sometimes he's just a boy. And her response was, that's okay. You know, they never grow out of it. They're all like that all the time. Fear not.
Wow.
Fair-
You know,
fair-
she's
Thank God she's gracious, man.
Oh,
Yes.
she's one of my favorite people on the planet. But
Obviously
oh my goodness,
now.
I wanted to dig a hole and live in it.
Yep.
It was so awkward.
See, now they have that blackmail, that
Yeah.
message saved.
Yeah,
Right?
it's screenshot forever.
Yep.
I got a cell phone one. I was in Newberry. I was very much single, and there was a girl at the college there. Her name was Kristen, and I was ready to go like on a date. And so I texted her, doing everything I tell my students not to do. You know, I'm just texting her all day long. And then I was like, okay, I want to go out. I want to go on a date with this girl. So I just texted her. I said, hey, we should hang out sometime. And she's like, that'd be cool. And then, you know what? I said, no. When I talk to my students, I tell them they need to be men, and they don't need to like skirt around it. They need to be direct to the point. So
Get out of that basement. Stop
Get
playing
out of the
video
basement.
games.
Yep.
say how you feel.
You went all
Say how you
Driscoll
feel.
out there.
I
Yeah,
did.
man.
I said, say how
How
you feel.
dare
Dylan.
you?
Yeah. That's where I was, man. I was like, all right, I'm going to talk to her. So I didn't call her. I should have. But I just texted her. I said, hey, Kristen, I want to be very honest with you. I want to hang out with you, but I'm ready to be in a relationship, and this would be a date, right? And she didn't respond. And I was like, oh, guys, y'all sent that text out, right? Like, that's why you make the call. She didn't respond. Anyways, I
High
had to-
risk,
I-
high reward.
That's
yeah,
right.
so
I've
I
never
had
sent
to
that
go to
text.
church. I had to go to church because we had worship team practice that night. And I go to church, and I'm just kind of like sad because she never responded. I get to church, and like all my students are there, and one of them is just not talking to me. And I walked over to her, and I'm like, are you gonna, like, is everything okay?
Oh no.
Her name was Kristen.
Oh no.
Oh, dude, talk about catching charges, man. Oh, no.
That's worse. Honestly, that's worse.
Oh, my
I like
gosh.
very bluntly asked out a 15-year-old girl in
Oh,
my
no.
youth group.
Dell.
Yeah.
How did you get out of that? How did you get out of that?
Okay.
My
Okay.
Lord.
I had been giving her whole family. She had another 2 sisters and a brother. I had
Frank,
been
your
giving
face
them
is
guitar
incredible.
lessons for over a year at their house. Their dad was a beer drinking truck driver. So like I was legitimately scared that they were going to be like, oh, what have you been hanging out at my house with my kids? So I just had to go to the family. Like, hey, listen, so pray for me because I am actually trying to ask out a Kristen, but not your Kristen. So,
Wow.
but I will never I'll never forget the gut sink when I opened my phone and Siri had messaged the wrong Kristen.
Oh.
Like that gives me anxiety right now.
Dude, I know.
The only way I can explain to you maybe how it felt is if you actually watched that movie Cuties on Netflix. That's how I felt. Don't do it. I'm just saying, like how you would
That
imagine
wasn't
you
a
would feel.
necessary reference.
That's how I felt.
Hey,
That's how I felt.
The moral of the story I'm hearing is like Siri is actively betraying.
Why are you
guys.
texting on Siri? Anybody ever again?
Never.
Don't.
I mean, that's what happened to James. He said, "Hey Siri, live stream right now," and then
Yep.
That's what's happening.
It's a different kind of vlogging, man.
Oh man! Just a couple days ago, okay, so this happened. This whole story of pooping last week, and then just
he poops. He does poop regularly, but the story was last week.
Yes.
yeah, the story. Just Friday night, if the one story wasn't enough, I ate some bad beef, and you know what men do. If we think it's bad, we have to muscle it down and keep trying to eat it a little bit. Some bad beef, and I had some vomiting issues that night. But anyways, I wanted to text my wife. I said, "Hey, honey, I'm throwing up like crazy. It's disgusting. It hurts. It's bad. I don't know what to do." I look at my phone just immediately after I sent that text, and I sent it to my treasurer of my church. So I'm vomiting and vomiting and vomiting. Send this huge couple texts long about this. I'm like, oh my goodness, what did I just do? And
they're gonna take your phone away from you.
They're gonna take my phone away, but
Yeah,
they're also gonna take my
that's
wife's phone
probably
away.
wise.
Because just
Strike two.
a month before, my wife wanted to text me something about her using the bathroom. Text me this. They're gonna take both of our phones away. Like, oh man, I gotta go to the bathroom. Blah blah blah. This is funny stuff. And it called me a bad name because I let the toilet seat up, and not a bad name, but it called me names because I let the toilet seat up, like everyone gets. She texted that to the treasurer's husband. So now the treasurer and her husband both have blackmail texts of me and my wife.
Dude.
We just don't need to have
Man,
phones anymore.
When you start asking for raises, it's gonna be rough on you.
And because they're the ones that decide the raise, okay?
Yeah.
The treasurer.
Your church is gonna be like, I'm taking this out of your benefits. You're not gonna get money.
You don't need a
anymore.
smartphone. You need a flip phone. So I don't have any stories like that where I've done something. The worst, embarrassing but also painful thing that I can think of right now that involves the bathroom is when I was a worship leader at a church in Orlando. It was a little bit bigger.
I can
church.
think of lots of painful things that involve the bathroom.
Yes, 300-400 people. Well, I was in the stall right before the service started, and as I got up to pull pants back up and get ready to walk into the service, when I stood up, I sliced my head open on the little coat hook on the inside.
Yeah.
And dude, it was a good gash on the top of my head to where at the end of the service I had a little bit of dried blood coming down. It was pretty crazy.
What?
But thankfully there was no social media or anything involved at the time. But it was bad.
Can I ask you guys a question? All right, this just comes to my mind. What do you guys do? You're preaching and do minute hits. You got to go to the bathroom. I think we've all been there.
Yes,
I think we've all been there. What do you do?
Pucker up.
and pray
It
pray
is
in your mind and figure out how to land the plane.
The only time in my life I've ever had to, and it was not for that. I had a vasectomy on December 30th.
Oh my god!
And
Where is going?
and
This episode is so out of control.
and was preaching on New Year's Day.
Ooh,
wait,
you need,
so-
you need 5 days to recover, bro.
Because
You plan around that.
the senior pastor that I was working for at
Wow.
the time was in the process of retiring, and he the vasectomy.
You were retiring too.
Well,
Yeah.
but so for the first time in 48 hours, I did not have frozen vegetables in between two pairs of boxer shorts, and so I that sermon was, I think, 21 minutes long. It just could not. I just couldn't stand anymore. I had to go sit down.
Wow.
So, after the benediction, I went and laid down in the pew. I was like, oh.
Just stayed there.
if you want,
Man.
if you want horror stories, I will continue to tell you
Oh my
about that
God.
vasectomy when we are not recording.
This is going to be known. This episode is going to have, but it's going to have a name that we call it later.
Yeah. That episode.
Yeah.
Six pastors fired because of a podcast. That's what's in the call. That's what it's gonna be called.